This presentation will provide centres with information on the awarding of vocational qualifications in summer 2020. On the 22nd of May 2020, the regulators confirmed the arrangements for the awarding of vocational and technical qualifications in summer 2020. Ascentis is now in a position to provide further details to centres. Please ensure you have reviewed the Ascentis Vocational Qualifications Award in Summer 2020 guidance documents, which explains further information on the approach to calculate, adapt and delay. Ofqual have also produced a tool which highlights the approach for each Ascentis qualification. Following the outcome of the regulators' consultation and ongoing work with the regulators, Ascentis have categorised each qualification. The qualifications have been categorised into calculate, adapt or delay. Calculate will be used where appropriate, adapt where it is not possible or appropriate to calculate a result, and delay will be used where it is not possible to either calculate or adapt an assessment. The ERF framework applies to all learners still on programme and expected to complete between the 20th of March and the 31st of July 2020. Centres must not include results for any learners they would not expect to have taken assessment during this period. Please only register learners who haven't previously been registered and who you expect would have been ready to complete their assessment between the period of the 20th of March and the 31st of July 2020. The deadline for registering these learners on QuartzWeb is Monday the 8th of June 2020. As identified earlier, Ascentis have categorised each of its qualifications. The first category is calculation. Ascentis has taken the approach that it will, in conjunction with the judgments of its centres and where it is possible and safe to do so, estimate and issue a calculated result for learners who have been affected by the COVID disruption. A calculated result will be based on a centre assessment grade. A centre assessment grade is the term used to refer to the evidence-based provisional judgment of a learner's unit result which a centre submits to Ascentis. A centre assessment grade will draw on a range of different types of trusted evidence, and this may vary depending upon the qualification. There will be minimum evidence thresholds for qualifications, and where there is a lack or no trusted evidence available, the centre will be unable to produce a centre assessment grade for learners. Further information can be found in the Ascentis Vocational Qualifications Award in Summer 2020 guidance. It is the responsibility of the centre to ensure the standardisation across tutors and assessors, and those calculating an assessment grade must have experience of teaching the learner they are calculating the result of. Ascentis will be providing a template document, the Centre Assessment Grade Record Form, which centres must complete for each learner where the centre is claiming for a calculated assessment grade. This document will have to be reviewed and signed off by the head of centre. All centre assessment grades should be submitted via QuartzWeb between the 10th of June and 10th of July 2020. The centre assessment grade and details regarding submitting results to QuartzWeb will be provided to centres on the week commencing the 1st of June 2020. Following the submission of a centre assessment grade, Ascentis will complete a quality assurance process. This will be completed prior to issuing any certificates for any centre assessment grades. It will consist of 3 key elements: reviewing the information provided by the centre, applying a risk-based approach, and completing EQA activity of the documentary evidence. This timeline will provide centres with an overview of the awarding of centre assessment grades. Section 1. This relates to an email sent to all Ascentis centres with the guidance document to support this process. Please ensure that you have familiarised yourself with this document. Section 2. The centre are required to ensure that all those learners to be claimed under the ERF are registered in our QuartzWeb system. Section 3. Centres are required to gather the evidence to support the centre assessment grade. Section 4. Ascentis will be providing centres with a centre assessment grade record form and guidance on results submission to QuartzWeb. Section 5. Ascentis have planned 3 webinars. These are useful for centres, and we recommend that centres attend one of these events. Section 6. The centre submits results and assessment grades. This can be completed at any time between Wednesday the 10th of June and Friday the 10th of July. Section 7. Ascentis quality assurance will be conducted. Section 8. Ascentis will issue all certificates by Monday the 31st of August. The second mitigation is adaption. For some qualification, Ascentis has determined that it may not be possible or may not be safe to issue a calculated result. This includes qualifications which are licensed to practice. The achievement of the qualification does signal occupational competence. There may be health and safety issues. The achievement of the qualification may lead to a learner gaining technical employment, or professional bodies and assessment strategies have been taken into account. There are a number of ways in which a qualification could be adapted. This includes changing the way in which assessments are delivered, adapting assessment methods, changes in invigilation requirements, adjustments to work experience, and changing the way in which qualification is quality assured. No adaptations should be made by centres. Any adaptation must be approved by the Ascentis Quality Assurance Department. Please email qualityassurance@ascentis.co.uk if your qualification is categorised as adaptation, and we will provide you with further information. Mitigation 3. Delaying assessment. Where assessments cannot be calculated or adapted, the learner assessment must be delayed until lockdown restrictions have eased. Delaying assessments would also be applicable whereby there is insufficient evidence to produce a calculated assessment grade for a learner, or an adaptation cannot be completed. Due to the current situation and centres closing, many assessments cannot be conducted. However, where it is possible for assessments to continue as normal, you can continue to do so. This must be in line with Ascentis requirements and government guidance. EQA activity will be completed remotely. Please liaise with your allocated EQA should you require verification of learner work. Ascentis have sent all centres the centre guidance document. This document includes the process for the awarding of qualifications this summer. It is important that all staff involved in the process are familiar with this document. As identified in the timeline on the earlier slide, Ascentis will be providing webinars for centres to support the ERF. Centres should book on one of the webinars. Centres can book onto these via the Ascentis website located on the events page. Finally, I would like to say thank you from Ascentis. We understand the challenges and disruption that you are facing during these difficult times. We are doing all we can to minimise this and put in place measures to support you.